Morning, team. Morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Just to reiterate, this is not coffee moaning. Coffee moaning will be at 10 o'clock. It's kind of normal time. So this is a live chat, very much specifically about the Donald Trump Epstein latest. So I hope you're all well. Lovely to see you all chatting. I haven't got a clue what the crowns are on the right in the chat room. So yeah, we couldn't upload yesterday. I'm only going to touch upon it very briefly. We had some very difficult news yesterday. Nothing to do with Nanny Di. Very difficult news yesterday, which is both complicated and too traumatic to go into any detail about. But suffice it to say, that kind of kept us away from all content. We're going to be talking about the Trump-Epstein headache. There's been a new evolution to the story overnight, and we are at 10 o'clock going to be doing coffee moaning, where we're going to home in on some of the other sort of stories of sort of British stories regarding 16-year-olds voting, Diane Abbott back in trouble. And later today, we're also going to be focusing on Gaza and the Middle East. Now, Gaza and the Middle East. So there is more than one life. There is more than one life. You're right, Reese. Now, I mean, Nadia's always a little bit kind of tentative about me kind of being as bold as I am, but I mean, I'm in good company here. I'm alongside the likes of potentially Tucker Carlson. But I genuinely believe, and I want to ask you guys, who here believes? Hi, Gabby. Thank you. Hi, Leo. Hi, Zoe. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Trina. I want to see who here believes, like I do, that the Epstein lists, the Jeffrey Epstein lists, and all of the drama and all of the intrigue and all of the illegality and blackmail and tens of thousands of horrendous tapes of horrendous footage doing and all this stuff, compromising so many top influential, wealthy oligarchs and billionaires and governments, etc., etc. Who believes it's tied up with Israel and Mossad? I mean, the biggest clue is that Jeffrey Epstein was, mates with lots of Mossad, mates with the Prime Minister of Israel at the time. His partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, was an Israeli spy. And I think for those of us, because I think, the reason I keep saying to Nads, I don't care that she doesn't want to sort of, it's not that she disagrees. It's just, I think she just, if we end up waiting for direct proof will be removed. Because as I've always said, the sign of a successful cover-up is there's no sign of a cover-up. And we've kind of, I think we're all getting a bit smart to the kind of gaslighting gameplay of the system, of governments, of the mainstream media. You know, it's not a kind of, it's not one section or one part of society that works on quelling questions. It's about people suggesting it's a conspiracy theory or suggesting this. Now, that's not to say there aren't some things that I don't get on board with, like flat earthing and all that kind of stuff. But I think what's happened, it's a little bit like, it's equivalent to the whole conspiracy theory and dismissing them all. It's a bit equivalent to people like Sheila Fogarty and LBC and various mainstream media legacy presenters poo-pooing the idea that any news or opinion that comes from anywhere other than an official Ofcom regulated news provider can't be trusted. Do you get me? So by the same standard, some online independent news sites and stuff like that can't be trusted. But so too can huge numbers of the mainstream media not be trusted. I think this kind of division between legacy, I think there's media. And I'm proud of the fact that I think we occupy a tiny little section of the independent media, you know, if not from a kind of breaking news perspective, but hopefully from just throwing out kind of possibilities, theories, or interpretations that get zero airtime, and then make people, and then because they get zero airtime, people feel frustrated, and then they get resentful, which is why this Epstein story is so interesting. Because when you go back to the beginning of the Epstein scandal, obviously not what he did and everything else. But the whole, is there a hoax? Where are the files? Why aren't they publishing the files, etc.? When you go back through the timeline of it, you realize that Donald Trump was the one fanning the flames, because back then he thought it would pull the Clintons down. And now it's biting him on the arse. So there are new developments. The Wall Street Journal has published, we can't publish the actual cartoon, and I'm not entirely sure whether the Wall Street Journal publishes the actual drawing, but we are going to show the text. The Wall Street Journal's reporting that Donald Trump sent Jeffrey Epstein a bawdy birthday note. I think that's kind of cute. I mean, maybe bawdy is what someone said. So Donald Trump is apoplectic. He's thrown all his toys out of the pram. He's going ballistic. That very slowly stuff is being released. Now, just to be clear, what the Wall Street Journal has published is not anything from the Epstein files. Okay, so they've been untouched. But what the Wall Street Journal has done has sort of rattled Donald Trump, because it's published a cartoon or a card, a birthday message that's lewd, rude, and bawdy. And it's kind of like it's like a warning shot, if you like, across Donald Trump's bows, I think. So how the story evolved was this. Donald Trump posted on Truth Social last night, the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch personally were warned directly by President Trump that the supposed letter that they printed by Donald Trump to Epstein was a fake, and if they print it, they will be sued. Mr. Murdoch stated that he would take care of it, but obviously did not have the power to do so. The editor of the Wall Street Journal, Emma Tucker, was told directly by Caroline Levitt and by President Trump that the letter was a fake. But Emma Tucker, we're going to talk about the letter in a minute, don't worry. But Emma Tucker didn't want to hear that. Instead, they're going with a false, malicious, and defamatory story anyway. President Trump will be suing the Wall Street Journal, News Corp, and Mr. Murdoch shortly. The press has to learn to be truthful when it's your truth. What he doesn't seem to understand is his truth isn't the truth. Don't you hate that when people go, this is my truth. I'm just telling you, I'm just speaking my truth. Yeah, that's all right. Well, my truth doesn't agree with your truth. So this is the strong arming tactics, isn't it, of Trump? What we've got here is, if any of the press holds a torch to his feet, and they sound like quite swollen feet now. Apparently, he's got some veinaculus or something. He's got quite sore feet, probably. If anyone holds a torch to his feet, he threatens to sue them. This is Kim Jong-un-esque, or what they would have us think is Kim Jong-un-esque. This is Putin-esque. Putin-esque. Suddenly I've got hungry. I want pasta. Do you get me? I mean, this is him basically saying, don't publish it, Murdoch, or I'll sue your butt. You can't. That's not a free press. He goes on to say, the press has to learn to be truthful and not rely on sources that probably don't even exist. President Trump, I don't know if he's talking about himself in the third person. I think it's safe to assume that he's had this one written for him. President Trump has already beaten George Stephanopoulos, CBS and others, and looks forward to suing and holding accountable the once great Wall Street Journal. Things are only great when they say he's great. I mean, this guy can take zero criticism. Him and Benjamin Netanyahu, they're two peas in a pod, or they're, to quote George Galloway, two butt cheeks of a different arse, or the same arse, maybe. No, two different, maybe, well, I don't know, different arse. If they're the butt cheeks, does that make Keir Starmer the anus? I think it does. It has truly turned out to be a disgusting and filthy rag, and writing defamatory lies like this shows their desperation to remain relevant. If there were any truth at all in the Epstein hoax as it pertains to President Trump, this information would have been revealed by Comey, Brennan, Crooked Hillary, and other radical left lunatics years ago. This is all so strange. I mean, we talked about it, me and Nadia, the other night, and I still don't feel that Nadia gave me a convincing enough answer. She said it was hubris. She said it was narcissism. She said it was arrogance. Why would Donald Trump have banged on and on and on about the Epstein files, release them, etc., to get the Clintons, if he knows he's in there? if he's in there, I mean, maybe he's not in there. Who thinks he's in there? Who thinks there's footage somewhere of Trump doing something awful? And then I'm going to read you the letter, or describe the letter that the birthday note that he sent to Epstein. Anyone? Anyone think that he's in there? And if he is in there, it's a high risk game, don't you think? I know, as Me Too said like the other night, to mobilize MAGA around this and then expect them all to just go quiet, or all the kind of representatives of them to go quiet. I don't think he's on there, says Trina Cotton. There's many things he is, but that's a big accusation. Really, Trina? Do you think this is... See, he may be lewd, he may be a rapist, he may be inappropriate, he may say on chat shows that if his daughter wasn't his daughter, he'd probably date her. He can do all of that, which I agree. They're just not pleasant things. He can say the thing he said in the RV when he was caught on a hot mic saying, I can just grab pussy. All of those things you can say and still, you're absolutely right, not necessarily be caught up in the Jeffrey Epstein files. What I don't understand, here's the thing. If he's not in there, publish everything. If he is in there, what would you do? Publish some of it. And it feels very much like they're publishing some of it. I feel like we're having to, it feels like primary school logic. And then sometimes, because it is primary school logic, one ends up trying to complicate it a bit more. So let's have a look at the letter, shall we? So, so the flurry of activity last night on his Truth Social account was followed a story in the Wall Street Journal that reported that Trump had contributed a letter described as bawdy, featuring a drawing. There was a drawing of a naked woman's silhouette around a typewritten personal message to Epstein. The journal, Wall Street Journal, describing the illustration, because we haven't got an image of it, says a pair of small arcs denotes the woman's breasts, and the future president's signature is a squiggly Donald below her waist, mimicking pubic hair. It added, well, now I'm going to read to you what the typewritten text said. Should we do it? Do you want to see? Do you want to see what it says? The sign-off is telling. Oh, Shilly. He spoke about the privilege of seeing teenage contestants at a beauty pageant getting changed backstage. So yes, he is in there. Okay, this is what the typewritten aspect. I just don't think he thought he would be, Christine, but I just don't see how you can. It's like, I'm trying to think of an analogy. It's like being in a regiment of the IDF and having a team photo taken of you all just after you've all murdered Gazans, because, you know, it's kind of relevant. That's what's happening. And then in the photo, you're all kind of like thumbs up and you've all done it. And then it's like pretending, and it's like demanding that that photo be published and that everyone in the photo be held to account. But then being surprised that you're in the photo. He's trying to call his own bluff, Debbie Tynan. I love the sound of that. And I'm trying to, I think you're probably right. How? Trying to work out which bluff is he calling. Okay, so here's the letter. Here's the letter. This is what was typewritten under the two arcs of breasts. And I think a pretty straightforward analysis of the handwriting will make out where he wrote his signature, which is where the pubic hair would be. Does it look like his gazillion executive orders that he's signed? So here's the content of the text. Donald, voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Donald, oh yeah, it isn't clear how the letter with Trump's signature was prepared. Inside the outline of the naked woman was a handwritten note styled as an imaginary conversation between Trump and Epstein, written in the third person. Okay, so it's almost written as, so just to clarify, this is the note, but it's written like a play or like a script with almost scene direction, okay? Voiceover, there must be more to life than having everything, the note began. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Oh, it feels like they've possibly been in a massage together. It's signed off with Trump. A pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. Oh, I think this is dated from 2000. Just let that sink in. I mean, lewd, bawdy. I mean, the thing about it, it's obviously been written by someone else in the third person. He's possibly dictated it. Bridget M. Jesus, bucket anyone. I mean, it's quite shocking, isn't it? You know, and this is something that's out there. This is something that hasn't been, you know, used as evidence of anything. And to be clear to whoever it was who said it earlier, that doesn't a rapist make at all. You know, it's lewd, it's bawdy. I mean, it's all about context. It's all about intention. But I think we can imagine what the context is. I mean, it doesn't take a genius. I think we're back at primary school. You've got a pair of boobs, you've got a signature in the pubic area, and you've got chit chat about secrets. Him saying enigmas never age. I mean, maybe enigma is the name for something about his person. And it's the way Jeffrey Epstein in reply says, as a matter of, well, he's not, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Enigmas, could they be never age? Could the enigmas be the young women? So this was, let's have a look. I think this is from 2000. Let's have a look. Do they have a date on it? Yeah, it allegedly, yeah, it was a sketch that was contributed to a book, a birthday album for Epstein's 50th birthday. Weird and disgusting. Now, in response to this, I'll just pop it up again in case anyone wants to screenshot that. There you go. So further Trump Trump socials, I was going to call it Trump social, Truth Social posts. Donald Trump then went raging, based on the ridiculous amount of publicity given to Jeffrey Epstein. I have asked Attorney General Pam Bondi to produce any and all pertinent grand jury testimony subject to court approval. This scam perpetuated by the Democrats should end right now. The Wall Street Journal printed a fake letter supposedly to Epstein. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures. I'm sorry. I don't draw pictures. This is like a kid in class caught cheating. I remember doing a maths exam at school, and Perry Radford next to me didn't like maths, like lots of kids. But he finished this maths test, and he seemed cock a hoop. I was like, Perry, I was 9. I went, why are you so happy? I think I did well, he said. Anyway, so we handed in our work. He got nothing. And when our teacher, Mr. Woods, gave him his maths test paper back, Mr. Woods said, you know how I knew you were cheating? Perry was like, how? And I was sat there going, oh, no, you've cheated. He'd written all the numbers upside down because he'd copied the person opposite. That's Trumpian. I don't draw. I can't draw. I can't hold a crayon. And those aren't my words. They're far too good. These are not my words, not the way I talk. Also, I don't draw pictures. Anyway, I told Rupert Murdoch it was a scam, that he shouldn't print this fake story, but he did. And now I'm going to sue his ass off, and that of his third-rate newspaper. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Got to get this down the hatch. Come on, guys. What do you think of this? That's lovely. It's not going away, is it? So at the same time, so you've got his letter. J.D. Vance weighed in on X. Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bullshit. The WSJ should be ashamed for publishing it. Where is this letter? Would you be shocked to learn they never showed it to us before publishing it? Does anyone honestly believe this sounds like Donald Trump? Well, it's very unlikely that Donald Trump would have sat at a typewriter typing a third-person discussion in play form. But I can see him sat in his office with a dictaphone. He probably uses his dictaphone. I think he's almost cooked. What do you mean, as in rumbled, Carla? Do you think it's getting, the noose is tightening, isn't it? The noose is tightening. So JD Vance is rattled. Elon Musk demolishes Trump's latest claim that the Democrats created the Epstein files hoax. He said, wow, amazing that Epstein killed himself, in inverted commas, and Ghislaine is in federal prison for a hoax. It is odd that she's in prison for a hoax, isn't it? Because if it's a hoax, that means it didn't happen. So JD Vance, Caroline Levitt, the sort of the whip smart, very young, very capable, you know, uber religious, not to be held against her, but you know, she talks in tongues apparently before she goes on in and onto the stage. She said on X, the Wall Street Journal published a hatchet job article with a fake birthday letter. It's weird how they always have to write fake in capital letters. We understand the word. Fake. It's like every time they all go to Donald Trump, it's, look, there we go, printed a fake. Fake. Just in case you don't get the message, it's fake. The Wall Street Journal published a hatchet job article with a fake birthday letter. This is like the Steele dossier that kickstarted the Russia hoax all over again. Whilst we're at, what about the Israel hoax? When we do Gaza and Israel's compromising of America and how Benjamin Netanyahu is essentially the president of the United States, you're going to be flabbergasted. Even Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying, what the fuck is going on? Who's running? It's like Russia, China. Meanwhile, America, you've got Israel's hand right up your asshole and it's operating you like a glove puppet. When are you going to get some dignity? You've got our prime minister's the biggest, squeakiest gimp there is in the world. And then we've got America with a great bit. I thought America was the land of the free and the land of the strong and John Wayne and sashaying and killing indigenous people and racism and race riots and apartheid. And, oh, sorry, lost my way. The American dream. The Wall Street Journal refused to show us the letter and conceded they don't even have it in their possession when we asked them to verify the alleged document they're basing their entire fake story on. I think we need to see it. I mean, with all due respect, I think we need to see it. The Wall Street Journal, I mean, well, they wouldn't publish if they didn't have it. I'm pretty certain their lawyers will have been over that like a rash. When has President Trump ever spoken like the conversation alleged in the fake Wall Street Journal story? But we don't know what Trump's like. As soon as the candles are on, the mood music is low, the whale music's going. The door sort of just edges shut. There's the tinkle, tinkle sound of water somewhere. The lubing up of the masseur's hands. Who knows what trips out of the mouth of Mr. Trump? Maybe he's a Lothario. Maybe he becomes Shakespearean in his ability to, I don't know, woo with ditties and magical language. As I said at the podium today, there is a coordinated, this is Caroline, coordinated hoax by the Democrats and fake news to smear President Trump. Meanwhile, I just thought, I'm going to play you, has anyone ever gone down an Alex Jones wormhole? Alex Jones is the incredibly sort of, what's the word? Bloated isn't right. Stuffed love child of the Liver King and Joe Rogan, isn't he? I mean, it's like Joe Rogan and the Liver King, which is interesting because the Liver King was arrested for threatening terrorism against Joe Rogan. But maybe that's because their love child is this guy, Alex Jones. And the reason I'm playing you this was featured on a short on the Young Turks. This guy gives us some sense of how MAGA or Trump supporters can try and circumnavigate their way round Trump not wanting to release all the Epstein details. I don't know if this is Alex Jones's shtick. It looks like there's a moment in the middle of this clip where the idea of what his next thought and entire opinion on the topic is lands in his head. Is that his thing? Is he almost like, is it like a seance? Is he like a kind of mystic where he sits there and goes, it's right? Is he? Anyway, here he is.
Is that no, Trump is in the files. Trump is in the files. That would have come out before, when they were trying to stop him before. They're clearly coming after him. And I've never seen one piece of evidence to that. No, this all points towards bare minimum.
It's coming to him now. It's coming to him now.
Trump believes, and it's probably true, that if it comes out a bunch of head bankers and politicians and leaders and business leaders are in this, which we know they were, that will crash the stock market. That will just destroy America's image in the world. And so it's so horrible that they made the decision not to bring it out.
So his theory is that these pedophiles are too big to jail. That's why Trump is now wisely saying, you know what, that banker and that politician and that really rich person, they're just too big to jail.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? So, so as we sum up, this is getting worse and worse for Donald Trump. And his attempt to release, where have we got it here? Let me just find the story. So we've got this. Trump is requesting a release of the Epstein grand jury transcripts. Now, that's a deviation away from credible. We've gone from credible to him now wanting to release. What was it? The word? There's a phrase. Has directed Attorney General to see the. Oh yes, he wants them to release public release of the materials that are under seal, citing the. So, I think the only reason he's calling for these grand jury transcripts to be published is because he knows there's nothing compromising in them. I think that can be the only reason. The problem now for Trump is anything he sanctions or anything he requests, and this is a real headache for him, is it going to immediately be scrutinized for what he isn't putting into the public realm? Do you get me? If he says, let's do the jury transcripts because they have foresight of them, they've seen or someone's seen that, actually, I'm not mentioning them. I mean, in an interesting other twist and turn, Comey, former FBI head who had that, do you remember that? He clashed horns with Donald Trump massively. His daughter was a major prosecutor in the Epstein trial, and she's been fired by her law firm. So, you know, but the problem with legalities and law, as we saw with Alan Dershowitz the other day, is there are so many people knocking around America, the higher echelons of America, who know all this stuff, but none of them can say anything because they'll get sued to buggery. I wonder if there's going to be someone who just thinks, you know what, I don't mind being sued. I'm just going to say it. That's right. I thought Alex Jones was the one. Alex Jones denied that Sandy Hook ever happened. He's truly a despicable human being and as swampy as Trump. Well, to be brutally honest with you, I mean, one of my favorite DC comics was the Swamp Thing. I was a bit disconcerted by how like the Swamp Thing he looked. Is he trying to set up Pam Bondi as a scapegoat? Oh, do you think? What, in asking for these to be released? Maybe. I mean, yeah. But if Pam Bondi, you know, the problem here's the problem. Here's where I think the vulnerabilities lie. As I just said, whatever Trump, and we'll wrap up, and then we've got half an hour turnaround before we do coffee morning. Whatever Trump sanctions to be released will now have to jump an incredibly high, to an incredibly high sort of level to satisfy people that what they've been given is full and transparent. And the problem now is, if he offers this or if he offers that, is that just too much part of the story? A complete reveal runs the risk of, him and potentially all these other major figures being thrown to the wolves. And you believe you me, whilst Trump himself has got this headache, anyone else implicated in the Epstein illegality, and as someone very correctly reminded me under one of our lives we did recently, stop using the phrase underage girls. It's just the phrase underage girls is a patriarchal society's way of legitimizing underage sex. Underage girls are children. So Trump will not be the only incredibly wealthy and powerful individual seeking to do whatever they can behind the scenes to quell this story. And given that America has been entirely compromised and is now controlled and run by Israel and the Israeli lobby, rest assured that they are inextricably entwined with this too. So there's even if it's not completely, if the size and scale of this tug of war isn't playing out in the press, that's probably because, I hate to say it, most of the mainstream media, owned by vested interests in most of the governments and leaders of the world, are themselves manipulating the story. So he has to kind of put everything out there or nothing. And it's about how much the MAGA machine, Make America Great machine, keeps pushing, and pushing. The rich protecting the rich, Carol. Anyway, guys, half an hour from now, we will be live with Coffee Moaning. I might change my hat just to denote a different situation where we can talk about that. And as I say, later today, we are going to be doing, me and Nadia, a focused piece. Might be live, but it might be a pre-record on Gaza. Anyway, thanks, guys. Stay safe and see you in half an hour if you're sticking with us.